And then in chapter 9, we get the fifth angel's trumpet, and he sees a star fall from heaven to earth. Now, is this a real star or is this an angel? And he was given the key to the shaft of the bottomless pit. Okay, so there it goes. I saw a star fallen from heaven to earth, and he was given the key to the shaft of the bottomless pit. Was the angel given the key, or was the star given the key? I don't know. Can you read 9 in the Hebrew? Revelation, Hebrew 9:1.
Then the fifth messenger blew, and I saw a star falling onto the earth from the heavens, and to him the key of the deep was given. And deep is capitalized.
So it seems like that star that fell was given the key. But it could be, could be the angel was given the key. It's hard to tell. So, but he, whoever he is, either the angel or the star, opened the shaft of the bottomless pit, and from the shaft rose smoke, like the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened with the smoke from the shaft. Then from the smoke came locusts on the earth. They were given power like the power of scorpions of the earth. They were told not to harm the grass, which was already burned up, or any green plant, or any tree, which 1/3 of them were burned up, but only those people who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. Now, there is a clarification. Only harm those who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. So here we are seeing, we are in the, what is this, the fifth trumpet?
Yeah.
And there are people who have the seal of God on their foreheads. Did they repent in the midst of this? Is this the great tribulation? Is this the time or hour of testing so they can repent? But they are only allowed to harm the people who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. Now, another possibility is these trumpets correspond with the great tribulation that we saw earlier. But because we're in the seventh seal, I don't think so. I think this is the great tribulation. And the great tribulation's purpose is the hour of testing for some who go through this to repent and be sealed. And they were allowed, these scorpions, to torment those who did not have the seal of God on their forehead for 5 months, but not to kill them. And their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it stings someone. And in those days, people will seek death and will not be able to find it. They will long to die, but death will flee from them. Now, something, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's coming and it's here. Have you heard of the med beds?
What?
Med beds, medical beds. Okay, so medical beds with the New Agers and the Illuminati and with Satan's kingdom, they have founding ways to sustain life in the flesh longer than what God intended. And some of those ways are by messing with genes, and they have these beds that'll be coming out. They're already in some places. And when you lie in these beds, they do gene modifications. What they do, the best I understand it, is they scan your genes and they find the genes that you have in your DNA which cause death, and they remove them. It's called CRISPR. And they actually modify your genetics, your DNA, removing those things that cause you to die early. And they're coming. And have you heard of Adrenochrome. How do you pronounce that word?
Yeah, you said it right.
Adrenochrome. Have you heard of adrenochrome? Okay, so what that is that is blood from someone who has generated the fight to flight or flight syndrome. So if you've ever gone hunting and you were hunting an animal and you shot and wounded and ran and then finally died, that meat would be saturated with a hormone and that meat wouldn't be as good because of adrenochrome, which infiltrated through that blood. And so the Illuminati, there are those who sacrifice, and this is happening all over the world, sacrifice children slowly, making them so fearful that they generate much of this adrenochrome. And then they milk the blood out of them and they take that blood. And that adrenochrome allows rejuvenating properties.
Doesn't it also make them a little crazy too?
It's got drug everything. And so you remember coming up from Mexico, all those children that came, where did they go?
Exactly.
That's where they went. And so there are multiple ways for this to happen. They will long to die, but death will flee from them. That is what we see advertised by the one worlders today, combining the body with technology. Yeah, it's yep. But God says it right there. In those days, people will seek death. They'll say, I want to die, and will not find it. They will long to die, and death will flee from them.
It's crazy because you wouldn't see that unless you
And we are told in the appearance of the locusts were like horses prepared for battle. On their heads were what looked like crowns of gold. Faces were like human faces. The hair like woman's hair. The teeth like lion's teeth. They had breastplates of iron. And they were like horses rushing into battle. They have tails and stings like scorpions. These are demonic creatures who have been in the pit and are released because they have his king over them. Verse 11. They have a king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit. His name is Abaddon. In Greek, he is called Apollyon. What you'll see is the gods of Greek mythology are these demons. They are fallen angels. They have entered our world in many different places at different times, always desiring to be worshipped. And the king over the bottomless pit is Abaddon, Apollyon. And the first woe is past. So now we were in the troubles, but now we have 3 woes. There are 2 still to come. This is the first woe, is these creatures coming out of the pit, biting and tormenting those who do not have the seal of the living God on them. Then the 6th angel blew his trumpet, and releases the 4 angels who were bound at the great river Euphrates. So here we're told there's 4 angels bound at the great river. So these 4 angels who have been prepared for this hour, this day, this month, and this year were released to kill a third of mankind. And they were prepared to do that. And the number of the mounted troops was twice 10,000 times 10,000. That's 2 million. I heard their number. And this is how I saw the horses in my vision. And they rode the horses and they wore breastplates of the color of fire, of sapphire and sulfur. And the heads of the horses were like lions' heads. And fire and smoke and sulfur came out of their mouths. And by these 3 plagues, fire, smoke, and sulfur, a third of mankind was killed. Now, fire, smoke, and sulfur sounds to me like weapons. And a third of mankind was killed by the fire, smoke, and sulfur coming out of their mouths. For the power of the horse is in their mouths and in their tails, for they are like serpents, and by means of them they wound. And the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues did not repent of the works of their hands, nor give up bowing down to demons and idols of gold and silver and bronze and stone and fishing poles and race cars, and cannot see or hear. None of these things cannot see or hear or walk, nor did they repent of their murders or their sorceries or their sexual immorality or their thefts. So we are told at that time, none during that woe repented.